So say we need the intro music.
All right, you two. Dennis, can you go that way a little?
I gotta sit next to Rona man over here. Dude.
Rona.
I don't trust this guy, dude.
The
He's
Roan.
for
Boom.
sure got
Okay,
the
there we go.
coves.
All right, and we are go. All right, welcome to the Thorn Beer 3-pack.
The 3P.
I am a general manager, Thomas Edward Kiely. With me, as always, my lovely assistant,
Taylor Allen, sales director for Thorn.
showing some thigh today,
You know it, baby.
and a familiar figure, booted from the show.
Booted.
I wasn't booted.
You were booted.
Well, how was I booted? Because I no showed?
Yes.
That's not
No
booted.
call, no show.
No call,
No call, no show.
No
Like,
call, no show. It's a
hey,
fire.
could
In the
Turn me
industry,
up.
you get fired in that.
You got to turn me up. You got to turn
Well,
me up.
oh no, it's
Turn me
your,
up
it's your
too.
headset. Can you hear better now?
That's better. Yeah.
Yeah, your volume's fine.
Turn you down.
I can hear you. Trust me, I'm hearing enough. No, where have you been?
I've been.
You know what's funny, Dennis?
I've been in the mountains.
My relationship with you is either we talk 5 times a day, or I text you and I don't hear back for 4 days and be like, "Oh, sorry, I was insert random place."
Yeah.
I've been getting into a lot of hiking and camping. Ultralight.
Exercise. I've heard of this.
So I just got back from.
Have you?
Yeah, heard of it.
Just got back from
In one ear.
Mineral King in the Sierras. Is it yesterday, day before? And then this Saturday, heading up to do 150, 160 miles of the John Muir Trail. So it's going to be about 12 to 13 days. So no masks, no people, no phone, no news, no problem.
Good. We're gonna
Yeah.
get some shit done.
Yeah, I hope so.
Place will be unrecognizable when you get back.
Yeah.
All right. Well, actually, Dennis, you haven't heard yet of. So we're drafting. Taylor and I started to draft. I don't want to say dream. I threw out a first draft, but it's about all the different beers that we want to release next year, and then we have a meeting with Sean today to see if we can actually fit it into the brew house, and then we'll do a follow up with Eric to see if there's any other R&D stuff or if there's any other things that we didn't think about to tweak everything.
Well, let's hear the list.
All right,
Let's see if they're any good.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good.
Yeah,
Did we overshoot it right there? All right, here's the goal, right? Keeping relay, keeping treading lightly, keeping Barrio Lager, keeping Michelada year-round core. I'm missing Hopster Pot. Hopster Pot. We're gonna. I guess pricing doesn't matter, right? So those are gonna be the core year-round beers. We're keeping the low-hanging sour. So each quarter we will twice brew a kettle sour with a different fruit in it. That'll stay. The essentials are gonna stay. Same thing, twice brewed each quarter. However, we're gonna switch from those painted cans, it's the same one, to labeled. So each one will be labeled. So it'll still be the Argyle pattern, but the colors will change with each release. Then we're going to keep doing shades of haze. We have Tiger. We have Gold. We have Slate. And we have Orchid.
Yeah, I think those are the ones.
Those are going to be the 4 shades of haze. Then we're going to do a chocolate covered series.
Yes.
This will be probably like a 5-ish ABV stout. And each time it's going to be a different chocolate flavored something. So it'll be chocolate covered strawberry, chocolate covered cherry, chocolate covered
Coconut,
whatever it is. Each quarter that'll change. Hot ginger for our boy. Black paw will change. The fruit will change quarterly. So actually what we're going to do is we're going to have a seasonal fruit. So for example, right, January, strawberry is seasonal in California. So the chocolate covered will be strawberry. The sour will be strawberry. The seltzer will be strawberry. So we're going to feature the seasonal fruit each quarter, and that'll change. Then we're going to have a couple different little 15-barrel series. So there will be a non-alcoholic beer that'll change each quarter. It'll just be probably a 15-barrel batch. We're going to do a low ABV beer, which will just be 2 to 4% alcohol. That'll change each quarter. Again, 15-barrel batch. A different fruited hazy, once per quarter, 15-barrel batch. It'll be the same seasonal fruit. Then, dicking around with a non-alcoholic tea, non-alcoholic coffee, non-alcoholic seltzer, like seltzer water, not hard seltzer, and it came up in the board meeting today of just doing a soda, a ginger beer. That's not on the list, but it's up for grabs. Then doing a hard series, the hard line series, the name Nina threw out there, I don't hate, which is hard, an imperial seltzer, hard coffee, hard tea.
Love it. It's a lot of
It's
stuff.
ambitious.
It's ambitious.
But a lot of them are small batch, like 15 barrel, just here or there.
Yeah, I think it sounds doable. There was a lot of keeps. There was only a couple of new things I didn't hear about. Just mainly the chocolate series. That's the only one I don't think I heard about.
Yes, but we're actually like they're actually test batching a non-alcoholic beer right now.
Yeah.
Like it's in the go. The hot ginger is like practically in the go.
The hard ginger is great, and the regular ginger.
We need a nitrogen doser if we're going to do those non-alcoholic things.
Yeah.
Which I'm looking for machines right now as we speak. It looks like I think today we're going to bite on a label applicator.
Ooh.
Our second one.
Yeah, well, this one will actually wrap the can. Unlike the other ones that just like slapped it on and like
It'll actually
sent it
work.
down.
Yeah.
That's the play.
Nice. BPM.
What would you add?
No, I think it's good. What would I add? Nothing. Nothing on the Thorn side. Yeah, I think that's all stuff. We did talk about the soju, and I actually have one. I want to show you. I've got 3 samples upstairs. I'm gonna
Cool.
Show you. Yeah.
Sweet.
So
Did you do a Hopsapot one?
can no. It's a can when it's a buddy of mine. He's a old pro skater that used to live in the neighborhood with me, and he
Tony?
sent it to me. No, not Tony. He sent it to me because he's starting to import from I think Japan actually.
Yeah.
So he sent me some samples, but I wanted to show them to you. So we'll crack them open later.
Fuck yeah.
I tried the gin 3 days ago.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
Gin what?
I mean, it's
It's just gin, but what's nice is that's the base gin, and what we're playing with is and it's also kind of a fun idea we got with a lot of this camping stuff we're doing. We're doing a lot of hiking into the mountains, and there's a lot of berries like gooseberries and thimbleberries that grow wild, and so we want to do a whole wild series. And I found this farm in Washington that does pretty much the same thing. They hike up with their whole team and they pick it wild, real low batch seasonal stuff. And so we want to do a whole wild series. I think the gin's going to be probably where we showcase that, but
That'd be
it's
awesome.
going to be neat. It's going to be fuck organic, go wild.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to swear, but God bless you. That's a crutch you need to lean on. So, Dennis, while you were getting lost in the mountains, or finding yourself in the mountains, you're finding yourself.
A little bit of both.
Both.
Yeah, right? You got lost in order to find yourself.
Sometimes you got to go away to come back.
Yeah. So we were talking about the launch for the Michelada, and we we have these meetings, we have these ideas, and then we set a meeting like 2 weeks later to be like, okay, we're gonna follow up on all these to-dos and see where we're at. And in the middle of that break, we didn't. It was National Michelada Day.
Yeah.
Totally whiffed. Totally missed
that's
it.
great.
So we're gonna do a belated Michelada Day, National Michelada Day. But so the idea, one of the campaigns for the launch is gonna be it's how do you Michelada. So Anna and Nina made this little I forget what you call the videos.
Like a flip book,
kind of flip book video with different absurd things coming out, like food items coming out of the can of the Michelada, and we're gonna do an event here where we're gonna have a Morisco's truck. And we'll do a shrimp cocktail Michelada where it's all on the side of the rim, and different absurd things that we can try to shove into the top of the Michelada, going off the idea of that roasted chicken that was in the Bloody Mary. And we're doing an event at O'Brien's.
Yep.
And that'll be pub food, same thing. And then I would like to do one where we just fuck around with different rims. It can just be rim instead of weird food stuff, rim stuff.
You like rim stuff, don't you?
I don't actually.
The rim job.
Frankie and I had a long conversation.
I was gonna say he's
not
setting himself
into
up for
that stuff.
joke.
You should do a rim job competition, and see how do you rim job.
Yeah.
That'd be
But you just
cool.
got to make sure you edit the content, what you're good at.
Yeah.
Make sure nothing slips
Gladly.
through there that's
I'm on it.
provocative.
Yeah, don't worry. No worry needed. I got this. I'm the filter. I'm the filter through which you need to run. Well, I would prefer if you ran. Whether or not it's necessary. Did you keep up with the whole patio group stuff? Do you know what happened? What went down?
Yeah, when she was selling liquor licenses and robbed a bunch of people, that whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. One of her employees tried to sell me one of those a while ago, and even then, I didn't think it made sense. I was like, and
It's a little sketch.
super sketch. It didn't. It sounded weird, and
So what is your understanding of what went down?
she's either repeatedly sold the same licenses to multiple investors, or sold licenses she didn't even have, or a combination of the two.
I think she also did promises like, oh, you'll get it eventually, right?
Well,
so it's like a Ponzi scheme.
It was a Ponzi scheme. Yeah, so they were hard money loans. So she was pretty much saying that there's all these restaurants that they want to save their money for improvements for employees, what have you. They can't afford their liquor license, which is probably one of the smallest expenses that there is on the books of $100,000. Let's say it. So what happens is you pay the $100,000, you buy their license, and they're going to give you 10% interest every year until they have the cash flow to buy the license back from you. So what would end up happening is I think she used some of her restaurants as well as other restaurants and either doctored up. It sounds like they did doctor some escrow paperwork as well, but pretty much saying like, let's say, okay, Thorn's is $100,000. Hey, Tom, Thorn can't afford it. You give me $100,000, I'll give you $10,000. So there's cost her $10,000 first year, cost her $10,000 second year, while she's going around and selling that same license over and over. So everybody, the secondary investments were paying the interest for the other ones, while she would eat up a chunk of the principal or from the people. So it was a Ponzi scheme, 100%.
But does that was she actually paying out those 10%?
She was, yeah.
And is that cheaper than paying out additional a different type of investment for restaurants?
Well, what I'm saying,
why is that? I get why it's illegal.
Yeah.
Why is that beneficial to her? I mean, having the $100,000 is great, but I guess unless
it's the Ponzi scheme. So if you give
she was never going to be able to pay it back.
No, it's just either she was funding it with the next people. If you gave me $100,000 and all I had to do was give you $10,000 back. I have $90,000 of it for the first year. I have to give you another 10 the next year. I've got 80 of it, and she's just going around paying off people and raising more money. So, yeah, pretty shady. It's crazy too because she got all these awards of like female entrepreneur and blah blah blah, and it's just like that's one of those ones where you're like fucking.
I think it totaled out like $400 million was the total scheme,
which is insane. I mean, how many licenses? How many times did you sell? It was like I think every
sell that.
Yeah, I think every license. I forgot. I remember trying to do the backwards math, and I think it was like she sold every license like 50 times or something crazy, or 400 times. I don't know. It was just like it was insane.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, she got sentenced to 15 years, up to 15 years.
That just came out.
Fucking.
She pled guilty.
Thank you. I mean, that's like I don't know, man. I just hate people like that.
Serve the 15?
How do you sleep? How do you sleep like that? How do you run around town and like I don't know. I just think that's such shit.
It'd be different if she got like caught up in something, but like I mean, it was just scummy. It sounds like from
super
the
scummy.
beginning.
Yeah.
I look back at things I said to people in like 5th grade, just like embarrassing things, and I wake up in the middle of the night and can't go back to sleep. I just feel so uncomfortable. I've never stolen $100,000 from 8,000 people.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah,
it sucks too because like let's get real, the Patio Group restaurants were awesome. Like I loved the Patio in Lamont. I loved there's a coffee shop on Mission Beach that was cool. There's Patio right around the corner from Swell, and the Patio right around the corner from our Mission Hills location.
So the Cohen Group bought out
some of them.
I heard that the ones that they bought out, they all had a specific thing in common. It was like they owned the property or something like that. So the property came with it. I don't know if they had to pay more, but it was something like that. Like they weren't just picking the most successful businesses. They were taking one that it had something to do with the property or the lease on the property, the ownership of the property.
Do you know if Cohen owns all the other properties that they occupy?
I don't.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. It's smart. There's nothing worse than having something happen at like the
Turf Supper Club.
Yeah, the Turf Club. I mean, you have some landlord that's like, man, this thing's doing real great. Your lease is up. Guess we're not going to renew.
Yeah,
it's like that.
I'm going to keep that neon up on the wall.
Wait, Turf Supper Club closed?
No.
Ages ago, the landlord. I mean, this was when in like heyday. It was just jamming all the time, and the landlord pretty much went to them and said, "Hey, I want in," and they're like, "Get fucked."
Yeah.
And he said, and I forget how he found something within the lease, whether it was like catering or I don't know what it was, or maybe it was just the lease expiring. And he said, "Well, I'm not going to renew your lease because of this, and that. So I'm just going to offer you some, price that I think is fair for the liquor license in the business." And from what I heard, it wasn't that much money, but they took that money and then they went and opened the one out in East County. But that's real life. I mean, that does happen to businesses for sure. So,
that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Super fucked up.
I'd rather own the buildings that we occupy.
You do own the building.
I was about to say, don't you own the buildings?
Hey, there's a spot in Mission Hills that make for a great tasting room.
Touche.
Yeah. No, that's it. I feel you. It is nice. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why it benefits. Like, when all this COVID stuff happened, we now have access to use all this adjacent property. If we had a outside landlord, they could be like, get fucked. That's not part of the deal. You can't use this space. But when it's someone that actually has like invested interest in the business, it's like you do whatever you need to pay my fucking rent.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. Thorn's doing all right.
We're getting by, dude.
Good as we can.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Okay. I'm getting really active on Twitter now, Dennis. It's my new social media avenue of choice.
Is it? I thought you were on Twitter.
No, I'm not.
Oh,
no, it's Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah, you were up in the mountains. I don't know what you what you were listening to, but there was my buddy wanted to start like 10 years ago. He goes, what about shitter? And we just share pictures of our dumps. It's like, yeah, great idea. Sign me up. I actually totally would do it too. So, but with this one, it was there's some like UK beer writers that I follow. There's this levy. Taxes, that's what they call taxes over there, I think. The deal where there was this break for small breweries. It started in like 2002 or something. And now it's 2020. All these breweries that benefited from it then that are now like in and like kind of rich are now want that levy to expire because it only protects smaller breweries. So they are now on board with a tax break expiring for the breweries that are smaller than them.
Do they still get it?
No, they have already exceeded that point.
Got it.
But it's like it's classic. Pull up the drawbridge once you get into the castle.
Yeah.
So there's a big thing going down right now.
Yeah, that's whack.
It is whack.
Yeah.
It's just taking down these smaller guys, and it's like,
well, I mean, we've talked about it too, like the franchise laws that the states or that these distributor
Do you hear what happened in Massachusetts?
associations are trying to put on these states, and how this direct to consumer thing is such a lifeline to everybody during this pandemic. And we're so lucky that it happened because a lot of these people are pushing for these franchise laws. And if they know that they can't push now, and hopefully after this is all said and done, even like the expanded premises out into public space and drinking outside and direct to consumer, hopefully it all stays because it is beneficial to small businesses, small breweries. It is necessary for and during this pandemic. And what's nice is, I think everyone's hoping, including us, that these rules stay because I think the ABC and the powers that be are going to realize that people aren't going to, be shanking people in the street with their pint glass just because they got to drink 4 feet outside the front door.
Yeah.
And direct to consumer, we're not sending beer to high school campuses. It's like it's stupid. Some of the rules are stupid. Some of these rules, I would typically say they're rules that should be bent or broke. But and when it comes to like a license, you can't do it. They just don't seem right. Yeah. So, but we all abide by them. But it's nice for the world to see that it's okay, and hopefully it stays that way. But the fear is that once the pandemic's over, that a lot of these lobbyists are going to try and push for some of these things to go away, and these things only do help small businesses. So
yeah, if the whole because it's not like Budweiser doesn't have their own local tasting room beer garden,
right?
And the wholesalers aren't getting a cut, so those are two really big interests right there that
could try and fight it.
Yeah. So fingers crossed.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens with it.
All right, well, Taylor, we have to go talk about the future.
Let's do it.
We got to talk about some 2021 beers with Sean.
Chocolate covered series. Bring it on.
I like that. I like it. And beer floats. I think I love the beer float. My Aunt Sharon used to always come when she was in town. Her big thing is a Guinness float. And when she comes, she'd do our what did we have on tap when she came? She loved it. It was her best thing ever. But she'd do vanilla ice cream with, I think it was our Santos coffee stout. Usually the Santos coffee stout, or we had
coconut porter,
or we had the coconut porter. One of the two, and it was phenomenal. But I think that's really fun. And the other one I still want to do, which you guys don't have on your 2021, but I love bringing back beer for breakfast. I know Scotty's Lego My Kego was pretty popular at
I'm open to it. You're right, it's not on the list, but
yeah, I just love. I think that's such a fun thing.
What is this?
Beer Scott Kaplan made a Lego My Kego, and he actually used
Waffles in the mash.
In the
Oh,
mash.
sick. No way.
Yeah, and so it was one of those ones, and it sold great at Pizza Port. I think they still ask for it from time to time, and I just thought it would just be such a fun series because it is one of those things where, I mean, every once in a blue moon you'll crack a beer for breakfast, but like if you had a whole beer for breakfast series, it's almost like you're reinventing an old. I don't know. People used to drink their breakfast. They used to drink.
Oh
their
yeah,
lunch.
well there's always is it Wells banana bread?
Yep.
I mean, we already have the Michelada now, which is perfect. But to like have a couple others in there, like didn't he do a Fruity Pebbles beer?
I think so. Yeah. So
This is before people were doing those big cereal adjunct pastry shit.
Yeah.
He did a Fruity Pebbles
you
beer.
did Fruity Pebbles, the Lego Makego. It'd just be funny, like a Count Chocula with the chocolate. It'd be kind of funny. Yeah. So
I'm into it.
I'm open to it.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
yeah, bring it back. Beer for breakfast.
We'll talk to Sean. See if we can make it work.
Squeeze it in.
Yeah, well,
Squeeze it into our already extensive plan.
got to keep the landlord happy.
Yeah.
All right, bros.
Good stuff.